we stay in our places, just stay like this. So basically, we just play.
And good Yantif. Gemar Chatima Tova, may we all be inscribed for a wonderful year. Thank you all for joining us. A quick word. The Machzor we're using, it's our new Machzor. We have hopefully the silver ones in our hand. The gold ones are for Rosh Hashanah and the silver ones are for Yom Kippur. If you do not have a silver Machzor in your hands, you might want to look at your neighbor's book. That might help. We will be usually on the even pages. When we go from one even page to the next, we might not announce the pages. Pages at a time and going to different places in the Machzor, we will be announcing the pages a lot because it's a new book and there is a lot of page turning. There's a lot of great readings in this book, and I encourage you during silent meditations or just when you want the other wonderful readings in the book. We are not going to read them all, or we will be here for the next 3 days, and I don't think we want to lengthen our fast. So we are going to begin on page. Moment. You can be turning to that. But as we're turning to that, I do want to welcome some very important people. Such wonderful music to our congregation. Pauline Troy, I think, she is on the keyboard, and thank you for being with us throughout the high holidays. Helping with the musical behind her is Joel Jaffe. We've got Kimball Hurd, and we thank them both for bringing all their musical instruments with them. We have another, I think, longer than I've been rabbi here, Diana. Thank you so much for doing Diana Rosenthal. And we also have one of our younger members, Elizabeth Baseman. Thank you. Elisa Feynman, who's going to be ordained cantor in May, does not need an introduction. And tonight, playing Kol Nidre for us, because someone broke his arm, Noah Friedman. Heal quickly, refuah shlema, and next year. But meanwhile, thank you so much, Alexei, for being here. We're glad you're here. Alexei Kalishnik is going to be playing on the cello for us tonight, and that's going to be in a little while. So welcome to our congregation and the pulpit in a few minutes. We're going to continue now. 9. We have actually run out of the Machzorim, so if you're willing to share 6 or 7, this is a really good thing to have this problem. And look how generous. Some of you should keep the book, though. 2 rows have just given up their books completely. That's okay, Bob. You're doing a fine job. And I want to thank Bob Fenton, who is serving as our usher. For years and years and years, Lester Tockerman served in that role, and he felt it was time to let someone else serve in that role, and has stepped up and is now stealing books from people and giving them to others. Thank you, Bob. We're going to continue now writing on page 9, and I'm going to invite up Epstein Shepherd, who's going.
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher tishanu b'mitzvotav v'zonu v'hatlik ner shel
Shabbat v'yom HaKippurim. Amen.
Amen.
Eternal our God, you fill the universe with majestic might through sacred obligations, giving us the mitzvah of bringing light on Shabbat and Yom Kippur.
Eloheinu melech haolam, shanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivot v'halikneh shel Shabbat v'yom
Shabbos.
Silently read 10, enjoying the meditations to ourselves. In a moment, we continue on page 14 with the service for Kol Nidre. At this time, to open our ark doors, I'm going to invite up Spam and to hold the Torah scrolls. Hopefully each of you will be wearing a tallis, Carrie Stiebel, Rich Gerber, and Alex Bordetsky. I'm going to invite everyone as they come forward. We read responsively on Yom Kippur, the Jewish people's festival of the soul, and Kol Nidre, its sacred portal, and voice with trembling.
We rejoice at the sound of Kol Nidre. From vows, oaths, and promises to God we fail to keep.
We tremble at the melody, music of spiritual amazement. It fills us with awe as we stand before God and Torah.
We rejoice to stand together, strengthened by community in this hour of shared weakness and humility.
We tremble, for tonight we confess our flaws, perfection, and acknowledge a power far beyond our understanding.
We commit ourselves to great endeavors because we feel so deeply and think so nobly.
We tremble, for we find that our ideals are far greater than our ability. Our promises surpass our might.
We rejoice in the Kol Nidre's true gift, the freedom to begin a new year without fear of failure. Their God's image in the world.
We tremble because we are mortal. We rejoice in our gratitude for life. With one voice, assembled, past and present, declare, as one on this night of repentance. Let none be excluded from our community of prayer. With one voice, God, proclaim, praise one on this day of return. Let all assembly. Kol Nidre,
וכאשר נשאת לעם הזה ממצרים ביד עינה.
And we close our doors. Be seated. Page 24. Are you Adonai? Your name fills the universe. Your word creates twilight and dusk. As your wisdom opens the gates of night, your discernment separates the changing seasons, passage of time. The stars arrayed across the sky, design. You roll out the cycle of darkness and light and night. You sweep away day and carry the world into nightfall. Apart from nighttime, you are God of all we can perceive and our perception, living eternal God to the end of time. Blessed are you, Adonai, and dusk.
ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה. צבאות שמות אל חי וקיים. עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני.
Baruch u'Baruch Shemo.
אמרים ערבים.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahata, Torah u'mitzvot, u'kimu mishpatim, otanu l'madeta. Shofenu kumenu nasiach mechukecha b'nizmah v'divrei toratecha u'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed.
אל תסיר ממנו לעולמי, ברוך אתה אדוני.
ברוך וברוך שמו.
אוי ואמר ישראל.
אמן.
שמע
ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד.
As we continue with Behaft on page 30, I invite up Tawny Greenbaum to lead us chanting Behafta.
ואהבת
את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך. תם לבניך ודיברת בם. לך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושוכבך ובקומך וקשרת מאוד על ידך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך. תם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אלוהיכם. We continue on page 38. Truth and faith, these are fundamental to our existence. God alone is their source. A people of God, our sovereign saves us from tyranny, redeems us from its violence through countless wonders, from its brutality through great feats beyond measure. We are Israel, a people of God, the giver of life, who would not let our feet give way, the maker of miracles for us against Pharaoh, importance in the land of Egypt, this one who brought our people Israel from its midst to enduring freedom. Witnesses to this heroic might, the people thanked and praised God by name, freely accepting the reign of heaven. Then Moses and Miriam and all Israel sang to you this song of utter joy.
כי הים לפני משה ומרים. אלי אנו ואומרו ונאמר כי אתה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו רק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני
ברוך שמו
God Israel.
Page 42. Let's read together. Bless our sleep with peace, Adonai, and awaken us to life when we rise. With powers sublime, spread over us your shelter of shalom, and through your wisdom restore us, making us whole. Let us proclaim your presence in our lives. Be our shield. Make us stronger than the enemies we face. Illness and war, famine and sorrow, and stronger than the enemies in our hearts, wickedness and sin. Safety as on wings, for you are the monarch of grace, the sovereign of compassion. You are the one who cares for us and sets us free. Watch over us, we who go forth to life, that we may come home in peace, now until the end of time. Blessed one, a canopy of peace, a shelter of shalom over all Israel, your people, and over Jerusalem.
Israel, Yerushalayim.
And on the Shabbos, we continue on page 44.
Israel,
Atonement shall be made for you to purify you from all your wrongs. Be of Adonai. We continue with the Chatzi Kaddish.
מלכותי, תחייכון וביומכון, וחייך בית ישראל,
Amen. Shmei Rabban Devorah.
וישתבח, ויפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה, שמי דקודשם, בריחו לעילה, לעילה, מכל ברכתה ושירתה. תוש ורבתה, ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמו וימרו.
46. I invite all who are able to please rise. Together we read, "Have mercy upon me, O God, as befits your faithfulness. In keeping with your abundant compassion, blot out my transgressions, of my iniquity, and purify me of my sin. For I recognize my transgressions and am ever conscious of my sin. Adonai, Sifatai Tiftach, Techa. Adonai, open all our lips that our mouths may declare your praise."
Moshiach Magen, Baruch Adonai.
Baruch Baruch Shemo.
Magen Abraham Be'ezrat Sarah.
Amen.
Ata Gibor Leolam Adonai. Kol Atara Lehoshia Mori Pata Mechakeh Lehachayot hakol Baruch
Baruch Baruch Shemo.
Mechayei hakol
Amen.
Shimcha Kadosh, Kadoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. You are holy, your name is holy. Seekers of holiness, praise you day by day. Selah. Seated. We're going to continue now with Uvachen. It's found on the little card inserts in your mausoleum. With Uvachen, which will take us through page 58.
And then, this and peace are restored. Uvachein, Uvachein, and then, remembering what all life is for. Get on the rain, taking stock of our days. Feel like forgiveness and love. We pray the time will come as we return to the one that we can become truly one. And then, when wholeness and peace are restored. And then, remembering what our life is for. When reverence for life is the prayer that unites all people as one melody. Remembering our lives, a spark of the divine in ourselves and all living beings.
Baruch atah Adonai, HaMelech HaKadosh. Blessed are you, Adonai, Holy Sovereign. We continue on page 60. You chose us with love to be messengers of mitzvah, and through us you made known your aspirations. Among all the many peoples, you gave us a pathway to holiness. You uplifted us and made yourself our sovereign. And so we seek you and celebrate our nearness to your presence, your great and sacred name, our calling. In your love, eternal our God, you have given us this Shabbat for holiness and rest, and this Yom Kippur. Our wrongs are forgiven with love. Assembly, a day to be mindful of our people's going out from Egypt. Together, bottom of page 62, and God of the generations before us ascend and come before you, and seen by you, reaching your awareness, together with the memory of our ancestors, the memory of your sacred city of Jerusalem, and the memory of your people, the family of Israel. May we be remembered for safety, well-being, and favor, for love and compassion, for peace, this day of atonement. Zochreinu Adonai Eloheinu, bo l'tova. Ufoktenu, bo livracha. Voshienu, bo l'chaim. Words of deliverance and mercy. Show us the depth of your care. God, we await your redemption, for you reign with grace. We continue silently reading through page 72. together on page 74. God who is ours, generations, to you we are grateful forever, rock and protector of our lives. Your saving power endures from age to age. We thank you and tell the tale of your praise, your power in our lives, your caring for our souls, the constant miracle of your kindness, morning, noon, and night. We call you goodness, for your compassion never ends. We call your mercy, for your love has no limit. And we call you hope, now and for all time. And for all these gifts, God of majesty, may your name come to be blessed and praised. Our gratitude a daily offering until the end of time. Inscribe your covenant partners for a life of goodness. Resound with gratitude and faith in praise of your name. God, you free us and strengthen us. Blessed are you, Adonai, whose goodness deserves thanks and praise. Baruch Shemo. Amen.
The bottom paragraph on page 78 in English.
We pause for our silent prayers, our own meditations. Now with the vidui that begins on page 82, I invite everyone who is able to please rise. Eloheinu v'Elohe avotenu v'imotenu, tavo lefanecha tfilatenu, v'al titalem mitchinatenu, anachnu azeh fanim k'shei oref lomar lefanecha, Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohe avotenu v'imotenu, v'lo chatanu, aval anachnu chatanu. Our God and God of all generations, may our prayers reach your presence. And when we turn to you, do not be indifferent. Adonai, we are arrogant and stubborn, claiming to be blameless and free of sin. In truth, we have stumbled and strayed. We have done wrong.
Ya la 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 la.
Ya la 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 la. Shanu, Bagadu, Zalu, Dibanu Dofi, Evilu, Behirshanu, Hamasnu, Tavanu Sheker,
Ya la
Lai, 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 ya la, lai, 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 ya la, lai, lai, lai. Atsura, Kizavnu, Latsnu, Maradu, Latsnu, Saranu, Avinu, Hashanu, Zaranu, Yuarev,
ya la
Lai, 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 ya la, lai, 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 ya la, lai, lai, lai. Rashanu, Shilchanu, Titanu,
ya la
we turn to page 84, I invite up one of our members, Sam Ezekiel, to come forward and lead us in this reading.
Away from your mitzvot and laws of goodness is a hollow pursuit. You are just concerning all that happens in our lives. Your way is the way of truth, while ours leads to error. What can we say to you whose existence face? What words of ours can reach your realm beyond the clouds? Every hidden mystery, you know them all. You know the source and the secrets of the human heart. You know and understand us, for you examine our inner lives. Nothing is concealed from you, nothing hidden from your sight. Eternal One, our God, ancestors, we pray that this be your will. Forgive all our wrongs. Pardon us for every act of injustice, for all our moral failures.
86. וזדונו בשקקה, אל חטא שחטאנו לפניך, בדיבור על חטא שחטאנו לפניך, אימוץ אל חטא שחטאנו לפניך, בטיפשות על חטא שחטאנו לפניך, שוב וחזר, אל חטא שחטאנו לפניך, ברכילות. שחטאנו לפניך, ברכילות, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך, בזלזול חורי ומורי. על חטא שחטאנו לפניך, בוויתור עברי, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך, אתריה. על חטא שחטאנו לפניך, בחוזק יד, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך, במסע ובמצה. על כולם ולבבות סלח לנו וקל לנו
Continue on page 88. We can על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בגלוי וסתר, על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בפריקת all.
The ways we have wronged you openly and secretly, and harm we have caused in your world by losing self-control.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בגילוי עריות, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך במאכל ובמשתה.
Wronged you through sexual immorality, caused in your world through consumption of food and drink.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך ביצר הרע, לפניך בנשך ובמרבית.
The ways we have wronged you by giving into our hostile impulses, and harm we have caused in your world through greed and exploitation.
חטאנך, חטא שחטאנו לפניך בנטיית גרון.
Wronged you through cynicism, scorn, and harm we have caused in your world through arrogant behavior.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בשנאת חינם, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך שפתיים.
We have wronged you by hating without cause, and harm we have caused in your world through offensive speech.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בלשון הרע, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך בצרות עין.
Ways we have wronged you with a slanderous tongue, and harm we have caused in your world through a selfish or petty spirit.
Tshuva has many parts. Vidui is a part of that process. I invite you, if you read and go through your own personal confessions.
Page 96. יבוא שבתנו בוקר, ויראה, ויראה, עינוננו עד הארץ, יעלה ומערב, יבוא צדקתנו מבוקר, ויראה, ויראה, פדיוננו עד הארץ, יעלה עניוננו הערב, יבוא סליחתנו מבוקר, ויראה, ויראה, נקתנו ארץ.
As we continue the English, I invite up Wendy Schmidt to lead us in this next prayer. At the bottom of page 96, she will continue.
Let our needs rise up with the darkness, our cries with the rays of the sun. All day our praise is before you, songs of joy and bliss till evening comes. Soar at nightfall, our just deeds shine forth with the light. All day we await deliverance, hope for redemption till evening comes. Let our suffering ascend at twilight, our forgiveness with the break of dawn. Oppression, cry out for right and justice. When night surrounds us, at sunrise, safe haven for your sake. All day our words rise from a sea of sorrow, and they break in waves of atonement till evening comes. Let evening bring salvation. Let morning make all hearts. This day our prayers spell healing, peace, peace to comes. May mindfulness of us rise with the evening star, our worthy deeds revealed in the radiance of dawn. Meditate on life's beauty, the precious jewels of creation, till evening comes. Let our pounding on the gates of mercy thunder on high as darkness falls. The joy of renewal arrive. The day holds the urgency of our prayers, confessions of the heart, lamentations of the soul till evening comes. Rise above the shadows of dusk. May the searching of our souls reach you in the morning. All day our praise is before you. May it be acceptable, may it be received till evening comes.
100. God of forgiveness, we come before you in need of compassion. At Sinai, you spoke words that guide our lives to this day, but our ancestors lost faith in you, lost hope in their Redeemer. They had promised. And yet, they broke their word, adoring an idol of gold. In the face of their rebellion, your forgiveness in that moment of human weakness and doubt. We too have broken promises to you. We too worship the work of our own hands. We too make of gold a god. And we too forsake your word. At Sinai, you revealed 13 attributes of mercy. These aspects of your nature, your very essence, we now recall.
Adonai, Adonai, Erachum v'chamul, Erech ha'payim, v'rav chesed v'emet, v'sel ha'achim, ve'ol ha'fesha,
Page 101. As parents show tenderness to their children, may you show mercy to those who worship you. Like the heavens that tower above the earth, for those who revere you. Liberation from God, a blessing upon your people. You are the God of all the people we can perceive, our haven, the God of Yaakov. And you are the God of all that is beyond our perception. The one who has faith in you is fortunate. Sovereign God, show us the way to freedom. Answer us this day of our calling out to you. Moses prayed to God, as you have been faithful to this people ever since Egypt, please forgive their failings now, in keeping with your boundless love. And God responded, I forgive as you have asked. On page 105, in all your ways, be aware of God, for without a people, ein melech below am. We are the chariot on which God's glory rides. There is no sovereign without a people. Let it be spread through our deeds, for there is no sovereign without a people. You are my servant, Israel. I will be glorified through you. And without a people. Where is God? Anywhere we let God in. And without a people. Ein melech below am, eternal God. You revealed to Moses your 13 attributes of mercy. They exist in the world through our awareness. They transform the world through our actions. We speak them now in aspiration.
Adonai, Erachum v'chamul, Erech ha'payim, v'rav chesed v'emet, noseh chesed l'achim, noseh avot ha'asham,
Adonai, Adonai, God, compassionate, gracious, endlessly patient, loving and true, showing mercy to the thousandth generation, defiance and wrongdoing, granting pardon.
Page 106. Ianu amecha yata Eloheinu, anu banecha yata Avinu, anu avatecha yata Adonenu, anu banecha yata Elkeinu, anu napalantecha yata Goraleinu, usonecha yata Roeinu.
We are your people, and you reign over us. We offer you our words, and you offer us yours. Pardon us, lead us to atonement.
Deep. It's time for the Meshora read before the organs of Europe and the old temple Levitical choirs. Everyone participated. So we're going to hum on that wonderful D. Let's see. Let's try hum. And I'll direct you.
We read silently to page 111. And on page 111, we read together. Answer us, you who answered our mother Sarah in her old age, you who answered our father Abraham on Mount Moriah, you who answered their son Isaac when bound upon the altar, you who answered Rebekah when she cried, why do I exist? You who answered Jacob at Bethel, Israel shall be your name. You who answered Leah in her sadness, you who answered Rachel in her pain, you who answered Joseph in the prison house, you who answered the midwives Shiphrah and Puah at the birthing stones, you who answered Yocheved's courage on the Nile, our fathers and our mothers at the Sea of Reeds, you who answered Moses at Sinai, I bore you on eagle's wings. You answered the daughters of Zelophehad, who stood at the rights before Moses and God. You who answered Elijah with a still small voice in the wilderness, the righteous ones before us, men and women of integrity and compassion, answer us. We're going to continue with Avinu Malkeinu. Of our services, we have a moment when we invite everyone who would like to join us up on the pulpit to do so. So as we turn to Avinu Malkeinu on page 112, anyone who wants to come up here and join us, please do so, especially those who are determined to make a change from last year. Anyone who's hoping, praying that they will make this positive change, especially pulpit. I invite everyone to please rise. I invite someone to open the art for us. Malkeinu, ha'er lanu et derech hayinu, Avinu Malkeinu, illumine us the path of our life. Avinu Malkeinu, how shall we find the strength to take the road less traveled by? Avinu Malkeinu, know the purpose of our existence. Avinu Malkeinu, how shall we learn not to live life in vain? How shall we get out of our indifference? Avinu Malkeinu, how shall we distinguish between truth and falsehood? Avinu Malkeinu, how shall we find the answers to our questions? Avinu Malkeinu, how shall we gird ourselves with strength to seek answers? Avinu Malkeinu, chanenu va'anenu, chazkenu va'amsenu, kivacha va'imcha takshuvot. Avinu Malkeinu, be gracious to us, answer us, empower us for you and with you. We continue responsively. Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Kolenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, hear our voice.
Avinu Malkeinu, Chatanu Lefanecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, we have strayed and sinned before you.
Avinu Malkeinu, Chamol Aleinu ve'al olalenu ve'tapenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, have compassion on us and on our families.
Avinu Malkeinu, Kalei der ve'cherev ve'ra'av me'aleinu.
Halt the onslaught of sickness, violence, and hunger.
Avinu Malkeinu, Kalei kol tsaru mastin me'aleinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, halt the rain and terror.
Avinu Malkeinu, Katvenu b'sefer chayim tovim.
Avinu Malkeinu, enter our names in the book of lives well lived.
Avinu Malkeinu, Chesh aleinu shana tova.
Avinu Malkeinu, renew for us a year of goodness.
Malei yadenu mebirchotecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, let our hands overflow with your blessings.
Avinu Malkeinu, harem keren mishichecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, eyes behold the dawn of redemption.
Avinu Malkeinu, na'al tishivenu rekam milfanecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, we pray, do not turn us away from you with nothing.
Avinu Malkeinu, kabel barachamim v'ratzon et filatenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, welcome our prayer with love, accept and embrace it.
Avinu Malkeinu, aseh imanu ma'ashemecha.
Act presence befits your name.
Avinu Malkeinu, imlo lema'anenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, act for your sake, if not for ours.
Avinu Malkeinu, ein lanu melech ela ata.
Avinu Malkeinu, you alone are sovereign.
Avinu Malkeinu, petach sha'arei shamayim letfilatenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, let the gates of heaven be open to our prayer.
Avinu Malkeinu, shema kolenu, chus v'rachem aleinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, hear our voice, treat with tender compassion.
Avinu Avinu Malkeinu, Chaneinu Bareinu, Ki Banu Nasi.
And everyone may be seated. For those of you who didn't come up here and join us on the pulpit, I do want you to know you still have the chance to make changes anyway. This time I do want to introduce the president of our congregation. For most of us, he doesn't need an introduction. He's here so often, doing so many things besides just leading the board meetings, working in our congregation. Right now, he's been in our library. He'd love some assistance if you want to help him. And he is always willing to listen to your ideas, accept your support. We want to thank him for his dedication. And pulpit, as always, Todd Hornick.
So I'm just supposed to read announcements, but I'm going to do more than that. Lashana Tova. So I just want to thank all of you for being here tonight, and I look forward to next Friday night when we also run out of prayer books to pass out. So I'm looking forward to that very much. Hatima Tova for a good year. Tomorrow morning, Yom Kippur service will continue at 10 a.m. We will hold children's services at approximately 1:15. All children are welcome. Tomorrow, a holiday discussion will begin at 1:15 p.m., led by our Women's Musar group in the double classrooms. Afternoon service will begin. Please be in your seats at 4:45 for our Yunus and Nila. The closing service will begin at approximately 5:30. Bring your shofars tomorrow as we invite everyone in the community to assist in the final blast at the end of Nila services. Past presidents are invited to participate in our Havdalah service just before our community break the fast. Following services, join us for a light and tasty community break the fast. Please bring a dessert to share for that event. And thank you to our executive director, Alethea Horn, for organizing this meal. Thank you, Alexa Cello. It's crossed. This one. Thank you for that cello service. Thanks also to Pauline Troya, Diane Rosenthal, Elizabeth Baseman, and Joel Jaffe for adding so much to our services. Thank you all. Our Sukkah building and decoration party is Sunday, this day, October 1st at 2 p.m. Join Rabbi Greenbaum as we build and decorate our congregation's Sukkah to help complete the physical structure, and children are needed to help decorate the walls and create art to hang from the ceilings. One ceiling. Bring a dessert to share with others and a pumpkin or gourd to help with decorations. If you have not already, please bring bags of food with non-perishable food items so that we can continue support the good work of Monterey County Food Bank. More bags are available in the lobby on your way out. Your participation in High Holiday is crucial to maintaining Congregation Beth Israel, which is more than a bima and a religious school, more than a place for social gathering. This is our community's Jewish home. Please donate to the High Holiday Appeal today by purchasing Israeli bonds and donating them to our CBI Endowment Fund. We are very pleased that you're here to worship with us during this holiday season. For those of you who are not members, we invite you to join us for upcoming services, programming, and events throughout the year. There are Shofar monthly newsletters out in the foyer, and there's the website that you could always find out what's going on here at CBI. We invite you to become part of this warm and vibrant community. Please pick up an informational brochure on the table as you walk out, or contact our executive director, Alethea Horn, or just show up. We're always here. We're always glad to have you. Thank you all very much. Shana Tova. I'll see you tomorrow morning.
Shana Tova. Great Shana and Tova.
I forgot Kimball Hurd. Thank you, Kimball.
Approximately 20 years ago, I picked up what I thought was a very interesting book. Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and it's all small stuff. Simple ways to keep the little things from taking over your life. Richard Carlson. This resource reminded all of its readers not to go crazy over the little bumps in the road. Yes, we do at times have major challenges along the way, and it's hard to ignore all those little irritants that come along. But the book's main message, track of what is really important in life, to focus on our priorities. It's a pretty good book. But tonight I want to suggest I'm hoping most of you are familiar with it. It's called the Torah. I believe it has a stronger message, albeit a little more challenging. But tonight, I'll summarize it for you. Using biblical guide, it's a series of do's and don'ts, teaching us how to lead a God-based godly values. While we might not always understand all of these godly directions, think mitzvot or commandments, doing them will improve our lives and lives of all those around us. That's the Torah. Before you get nervous or afraid that this task is overwhelming, I think it's important to mention that many of these rules in the Torah only apply to when one is living in the land of Israel. So all those rules we in the diaspora can set aside. Also, all that stuff about sacrifice is mostly found in the middle of the Torah, the book of Leviticus. We did all those things at the great temple in Jerusalem, and at that time when we built those altars and made those sacrifices. Well, we stopped doing that about the time the great temple was destroyed, around the year 70 Common Era. So we stopped following all those commandments about 1,947 years ago. So when you really start to examine the Torah and how it's guiding us, all that overwhelming. If you've not already started these godly rules, when you do, you'll discover that doing them feel good about yourself, encouraging you to do even more of them. At our Jewish camps, we sing mitzvah goreret mitzvah. Doing these commandments leads to doing more of the commandments. For some of us here tonight, I think this might be a radical suggestion. I've had members share with me that they are happy to support the congregation, services or special events at the synagogue, but most of the time they don't do Judaism. Maybe they have or go to a Passover Seder, maybe light a Hanukkah menorah, 1 or 2 nights of Hanukkah, maybe open a present, and they'll attend High Holy Day services. But that's about it. And then they ask me, that's pretty good, isn't it, Rabbi? How am I supposed to answer that question? For an answer, I turn to another book that I often use as a guide. It's a little book called the Talmud. Generations of brilliant scholars commenting about lessons found in the Torah. Some here are very familiar with parts of the Talmud, like Pirkei Avot, theology composed of pithy sayings of famous rabbis like and Tarfon. While they lived over 1,500 years ago, their wisdom still speaks to us this evening. From them, we learn that it's impossible for us to figure out what are the important mitzvot, insignificant mitzvot. We are informed it is a mistake to suggest that some of the mitzvot are very important and others not so. We cannot know if there's a reward for doing one mitzvah over another. We should not really expect any reward for doing any of the commandments. As the rabbis teach us, simply doing them is the right thing to do and the reward itself. So what happens when we don't do most of them? What happens when we don't do Jewish? First of all, most of us who are living a value-based life are in many ways, whether you realize it or not. And all those don't commandments that we follow are also important. When we choose not to steal, not to murder, not to commit adultery, not to bear false witness, not to covet, and the list of not tos goes on and on, rather extensive, we are doing Judaism, or at least following godly values. So before you tell me, Rabbi, I don't really do Jewish, be aware that either you are a terrible person doing all those things on that list I just made, you don't realize how Jewish you might already be. And for the Christians in the room here tonight, happen to be Jewish and preach the Torah, most of his short adult life, he shared values found Jewish law. And that is what Christian scriptures are based on, Jewish values as well. Torah is the foundation of Christian scripture. Evening is currently doing Jewish. Whether or not you're aware that that was what was going to happen when you left your homes tonight. Ask tomorrow or take time for some form of Yom Kippur observance, prayers, atonement, or even if you just plan on ending the day with a big celebration and break the fast, you are adding a little Judaism into your lives. My guess is that doing so will leave you with a feeling of contentment, something bright inside. Massages our souls. We can feel the reward. At the same time, things that go against Jewish teachings, when we turn our back on the values God has shared with our Torah, maybe we sense just a touch of guilt. Yom Kippur, we read prayers about the sins we might commit. Al chetzachatanu lefanecha, for the sins we have sinned before you. Those sins are seemingly minor. I mean, does God really care if one of us eats a BLT? Does God care? Does it really matter if I pocketed a few extra bucks when the cashier instead of a one at the superstore? No one will ever notice if I was charged for a small drink at the fast food stand, cup instead. Are those sins really an issue? Are they even really sins? But we notice them ourselves. We know when it happens. And maybe we feel just a little bit of guilt not correcting that minor mistake or change our behavior or doing something we sense maybe we shouldn't be doing. Just as we cannot determine the important mitzvot from the unimportant commandments, so too it's hard to determine what is a small sin. When we behave poorly, when we act in a fashion that we know is wrong, we find ourselves on a slippery slope. Our guilt does not simply disappear. Somehow it seems to build, grow. So I ask you, do small things matter? I think they do. Wrong actions eat away at us. Doing good leaves a hole in our souls. It's like we have this flickering flame within, inferno, but remains almost unlit. Can we really convince ourselves that this doesn't matter? Let me invite you to make this Yom Kippur day a truly significant moment in your lives. Starting tonight, commit to be truly honest with yourself. Admit that we can at times make better decisions. In the Torah portion we read exactly 5 weeks ago this Shabbat, Tzedek Tzedek Tirdof, justice. Justice you must pursue. Have we spent the time that we should pursuing justice? Have each of us personally done what we could do to help those around us in justice in their lives? Have we helped 1,000 people or 100 people? Person whose life could be changed if just one of us in this room cared enough about them? Have we given as much as we could? Truth is, no matter how much I always feel that I could give a little bit more. Yes, there are millions of worthy causes to support, and we can't support them all. A few organizations that we know are doing important work. Let's give to them, and not what we initially think we're going to give, but a little more. Most likely, we'll never miss that extra $1 or $2 or 10 or 20 but it will make a significant difference in the life of those who are receiving our help. If I can spend $100 on a theater ticket, and I have, donate $100 to Israel or Mazon or the hurricane relief effort, or you fill in the cause. As I mentioned on Rosh Hashanah, our namesake, CBI, Congregation Beth Israel in Houston, has been collecting $1,500 gift certificates, found them in their community, who have lost the vast majority of their possessions. Already a handful of people have donated to my rabbi's discretionary fund a Walgreens or Target's gift certificate. I encourage you to do the same. Or find another worthy cause and give. It's so important to help others. A few $1,000s to CBI in Houston before our Simchat Torah services on October 13th. In this effort and so many others. On this Yom Kippur, let us reconsider our priorities to guide us. The more mitzvot individually and as a community, the brighter are filled with a feeling of peace and contentment, wholeness. And then together we'll sing, mitzvah goreret mitzvah. Doing good deeds leads to more of them. Doing these commandments, do more. They'll lead to us celebrating life, celebrating godly acts, celebrating existence. This Yom Kippur will change our lives, those around us. Together, let's change the world. Amen. We're going to continue our service now on page 116 as we turn to the Aleinu. David and Lois Eppel, who are going to open our doors, and I invite everyone to please rise for the Aleinu, page 116.
לשבח לאדון הכל, רזי גדולה ליוצר בראשית. עשנו כגויי הרצון, ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו בלב,
On the bottom of page 119, may we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding, loved each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift our hand, but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. O God, over all humanity, cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, with the joy of wholeness, of freedom. And everyone may be seated. Continue on page 121. This holy night concludes with memory. Thoughts always are those we have lost, especially tonight, their presence at our side. This service we have was theirs, saying the ancient words. They prayed and repented and yearned for better lives as we have done. Flawed in their deeds, imperfect in their faith, they still draw strength from their tradition in ours. What was good and beautiful in their lives, it now inspires us to reach higher. The knowledge that lovely brings comfort to our hearts. So we light candles of remembrance and gratitude, and we speak this timeless truth. Racha. Their memory is a blessing now and forever. We pray that their goodness will live on in our lives, planting seeds of kindness and hope for generations to come. Our thoughts turn to loved ones whom death has taken from us in recent days, and those who've died at this season in years past. Our hearts open our circle of loss in our community and wherever grief touches the human family. At this time, I want to share the memories, the names of all those who is the yahrzeit. This is the season when they have passed, in the seasons past. Tonight we remember T. Bard, Harriet Hirsch Berman, James Contaxis, David Goodman, Arthur Herritt, Arthur Jacobson, Baby Kessler, Hone, Leonard Leader, Rose Lewitt, Robert Lee, Goldie Michael, Clark Richardson Miller, Anna Necro, Fillmore Orlis, Philip Plansky, Rosa Mercedes Valero de Bravo. There are other names to be added to our yahrzeit or Kaddish list. I invite you to share those names aloud at this time. Zichronom Livracha, May all their memories always serve as a blessing. As together we turn to the Kaddish prayer on page 122, I invite all those who are mourning and all those who wish to please rise for the Kaddish prayer. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach hirutei ve'amlich malchutei, yom mechon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, b'agala v'zman kari ve'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam le'omei al-maya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitbar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalosh shemei dusha b'richu, Eolam mikol berchata v'shirat, tushbechata v'nechemata, Alma v'imru amen. Yehi Shlomo Rabba min Shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu yasei shalom, kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. Please be seated. May the source of peace send peace and comfort to all who mourn here. May God comfort all those who mourn throughout the world, every family and nation on earth. Let us say together, Amen. I'm going to conclude our service, I believe, singing Tshuva. After that, I invite you all to please drive very safely. I also invite you, please, to return your machzorim to the table where we first found them, so they'll be ready for us tomorrow morning. I do remind you, our first service starts at 10 o'clock, and I wish us all an easy fast and Gemar Chatima Tova. Very carefully, especially leaving the parking lot where it's very crowded. Good Shabbos, good night.
Shabbos, good Yom Tov. Shabbat shalom. Now it looks